the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Frivolity. It is time for the Daily Brief. Woohoo, party! Gotta make sure I've got my head on straight here. Looks like we got a half a dozen or so people, so hope you enjoy the broadcast. Today is Tuesday. Tuesday means it's Pennacook Day. We have Sjord on the call here, Tricto, in the after party. You want to say hi to everybody here, Sjord? Actually, I think
Hi, everyone.
There he is. Say it again. I cut you off. Sorry.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Hey, there you go. Hi, Sjord.
Hey.
I've been selling you quite a bit. He's the guy, of course, who built this whole engine, the Rational Investor app. Oh, yeah, look at that. It says app right there. And we're just humming along here. Market's up and down and up and down. And unfortunately, we got a whole bunch of cross currents going on here. So never a dull moment. And of course, we are officially back from the summer break. So that means get your professional trading caps on, follow your plans, take your setups, don't take no wooden nickels, live with the results. Actually, I'm even in a trade right now, and of course, that can sometimes be a bit distracting. So if I seem like I'm a bit distracted, it's because I've got a position on. And we might have alarms and stuff go off where I have to move stops and stuff. I don't think anything's really happening egregious right now. Yeah. So we're just sort of, actually, we might even have that event happen. So don't be surprised if the computer goes all haywire and I have to move stops. So if it happens while I'm doing this free broadcast, well, so be it. If it happens while Sjord's doing the Pennacook report, well, there's that too. So anyway, I don't know whether I'll go into describing all of this today. The purpose of today's broadcast, the free broadcast for you guys is just simply sort of, what the hell's going on in the world. And do we have any econs or anything that really are driving us here today? And the interesting thing is no, we don't. So, demonstrator of best practices. If I was going to do the pro trader boot camp, what would I be basically ramming down your throats for a week straight? And hopefully you also doing this. And actually, FYI for the community, I think I'm going to step in and sort of do a semi level 3 program this term. I might even just do it, but we don't have that many students in the level 3 program. So that's why I thought, man, we didn't really have enough demand to do a full program. And I'm kind of thinking that we do have, of course, level 2ers coming along, and they'll want next term. So maybe we get the class size up to like a good dozen people or so, and then we'll do like a formal level 3. So current level 3ers, I am going to post the hangout after we're done all these videos. And we'll just get together, and I think it's just a few of us this term. So probably this is a great opportunity for you just to chew Brian's ear for the next few months, and maybe even we can review how your trading plans and stuff are going and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Nick, you like the Magnum PI mustache action going on here? It's actually filling in pretty good, considering I'm 50 years old, I can finally grow a mustache. Hey, it's a miracle. It's funny because right over here, I'm Dutch, right? And that I blame it all on the Pennacook guy. But I'm Dutch partially. And in a weird sort of way, the Dutch have a hard time growing really big, thick beards. In fact, actually, one of the, I think this is actually officially called a Van Dyke, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a Dutch reference. I don't know. Sjord might actually be able to correct me on all that. Anyway. Okay, back to what we're supposed to be doing. So I got up and actually had pretty good sleep last night, forced myself to go to bed early. Pretty good diet. I'm eating actually fairly well, and the computer's acting pretty good. So we got goods right across the board. As you can see, it was up at 5 o'clock. What's the headlines coming out of sort of the overnight session to start our day? UK wages continue to rise at record pace. And so this is probably going to be sort of the fuel for the fire for the European ECB and all that to start raising their interest rates aggressively. Payments in the UK went up 7.8% year over year. And really, I think this is what their plan is. Great reset, bankster crookery. Every 80 years, all they got to do is just add a zero. In fact, really, I might even say every 40 years, add a zero onto the end of everybody's lives. And then they'll slowly increase the pay rate to all the peasants so that you can afford the fact that you all just were like instantly made poor again, regardless of how much money you had in your bank account. So this is the process where I've talked to you guys about this before. First, there's cost push. You see, crude oil now, they're basically better part of $100 a barrel now for crude. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. And actually, I'm a bit surprised with gold. Gold I would have thought gold should have been at least somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000. So floundering here below $2,000. That's a bit of a surprise. But I remember distinctly back through the 90s, gold just sat for the longest time between about $200-300 an ounce. And it was very comfortable there at the bottom end of the range. And I think that's was sort of value for gold in that last economy, if you will, that economic world that we lived in. They've gone and basically added a zero onto everything. So now probably gold's base is probably $2,000-3,000, somewhere in that area. We might have a little spell here. I remember in 87, Newmont went just absolutely crazy. The gold market was pretty good market through then. I wouldn't be surprised if through the latter part of this decade, we have another inflationary push. You all know that the 1947, I've done these studies with you guys before. I suppose we could probably pull that up again and review that information. But 1940s, 46, 47, 48 was another wicked inflationary push. And my hunch is that's what's probably coming down the pike. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll see how that goes. Actually, damn it. So you can see, usually I like to show you guys what Japan did overnight off of this screen. So you can see I was a little bit flat-footed there this morning. I didn't have the indexes up, but I suppose that wouldn't change. Japan was up a good 300 points, so feeling pretty good. And if I understand correctly, the Chinese are trying to do a whole bunch of things to try and cajole some sort of bottom in the market. I would sort of temper my enthusiasm in these indexes and readings and stuff that you're seeing today because we've got a whole bunch of really big inflation numbers that are coming out tomorrow. And unfortunately here today, we can go back over here. You can see that we got almost no econs at all. So the charts are purely trading on inertia. They're trading purely on sort of previous setups, sort of playing themselves out. Like the crude oil ran up into a bullish objective there. I was hunting that short there today, and I have no idea. I mean, it's just a trader's life. The setup came in. I got to take the setup, so just live with the results. Still haven't been told I get stopped out yet. Oh, look how close I came. The bastards. Jesus, sons of bitches. Anyway, as soon as we have 88.92 traded to, I can at least move my stop to scratch. And then it's sort of like okay, well, I'm not going to get too hurt today, but who knows? This thing might just crank straight up from here. You just never know in this crazy game. So if the alerts do go off, then you'll know what that's all about. I think I mentioned that before. So the point of the matter here is and this is where I kind of ran into trouble yesterday because I go off on these crazy rants talking about fucking totalitarian dictatorships, talking about substitute drama teachers wishing they were totalitarian dictators, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of a hurry up and do nothing kind of day. So can't really talk econs with you, can't talk macro because there just isn't anything. And the worst part about it, right, is tomorrow, we've got some pretty ugly numbers coming out first thing right out of the gate tomorrow morning. So I don't really expect the market to crash here today. If anything, look at that. So now I'm going to get stopped. I'm dead. Anyway, it's a trader's life, right? The reason why I took this short was just because look where the VWAP is. I mean, it is way down here. So I'm not even really looking for some sort of crash in crude oil prices. I'm just looking for a return to the mean. And I like this trade setup. It's very Brian. I like the return to the mean trade. Broader markets, I mean, obviously I've talked to you a little bit about crude, what's going on here. If we look at whoops, that's not actually FYI, if you're still interested, I really do like the idea of putting the boot camp off until the new year, because I think I should pass this combine and show you all the statistics and get all the fancy interviews and everybody thinks you're wonderful. And then we'll go and sell this boot camp. And my hunch is we'll sell 20 seats in a heartbeat. Right now, we're sort of sitting right on the fence. I don't want to stress about that kind of stuff right now. And can we find another couple of people to do the boot camp? We got too much on our plates right now, but we will meet this Saturday. And if a pile of you do come in and say, hey, I want to join, then okay, great, we'll go for it. But I'm not going to solicit. I'm not going to press it. And right now we're a little bit under the threshold that we needed to hit to justify it. So just FYI on that. But back to our story here. Really the big econs that are going to drive the market going forward are going to come out first thing tomorrow morning. And you might find that we've actually been in an environment where volatility is actually kind of soft right now. So you might actually find that we actually start seeing some serious volatility. Taking a quick look at some of the markets here this morning, I actually don't mind hunting along in the gold market here. We've come down into key support. We've actually hit an ATR level. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. So I really don't have a problem with people hunting sort of, lower time frame day trade kind of swings off of this low here. But, I'm strictly concentrated on crude right now. So I wasn't hunting in the gold market. And when I did pull up that lower time frame 3-minute chart this morning on the gold, didn't really see anything set up per se. So it was kind of like, well, I just leave that alone. Down $9.90. Oh, look at that. So you can see it is starting to work its way higher. There is that ATR. Great example of this. So you can see as we come into ATR, you can see all the divergences starting to build. So then it's just a question of when do you get the W's? And I think you can make the argument it's pretty good looking W's down in here. So if you had gone long off of this breakout here, I could live with that. Risk against the lows. And you can see that trade's working quite nicely now. And actually, just as the exact opposite of the crude, notice how, boom, we ran right up into that VWAP. That's really the return to the mean kind of trade. So that's that. As for the stock market, yeah, let's see, where was that? Was that over here? Yeah. I already talked to you about crude, so you have a pretty good idea there. Coming into, I would actually call this kind of no man's land. We're not really near the top. We're not really near the bottom. Here's the ATR script. So like I could entertain the idea of hunting, and actually that should be long here. And actually I made that mistake on I think it was the Broiler Chicken show on Sunday. I actually had a chart up of Mara and I was talking about a bull call spread, and somebody had pointed out on the YouTube page, and thank you for the comments. I like that stuff. There was a typo on my Mara chart, so my apologies on that. Can't get everything right all the time, I suppose. Anyway, trading range in the lower time frame. I mean, you could argue maybe we're doing like a moving average sandwich right here, and really I would like to fade rallies up against these highs, and I'd like to buy these dips against the lows. So right now, the stock market, there's not really much for me to do there. And I did notice that, oh my goodness, the stock market's all over the place here. Look at this. Look at what the hell's going on with the Dow. This is crazy. So NASDAQ's getting taken apart because one of its darlings, Oracle, came out with earnings and they really missed badly. In fact, actually, I think I have the charts up here. There's the Oracle chart. And actually, this is a pretty big software company. So, that's going to do some technical damage in the market. And that's sort of what has the NASDAQ on its heels right now. But you look at these charts. I mean, there's S&P 500. I mean, talk about a mess. Gaps to the upside, gaps to the downside, huge gaps down here. This has got, hey, I'm a new guy to trading and I'm going to start predicting what's happening. This has got, Wall Street is going to eat these new people for lunch, because the market could easily trade all the way up to fill in this gap all the way up here, could trade all the way down here to fill these gaps down in here. And really, we haven't done anything here. This is just, it's borderline evil. These kind of markets, very, very dangerous. And I kind of see that on Bitcoin. If we look at Bitcoin price in a moment, you see that it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. And there's going to be people that are going to be making grand conclusions about where we're going through this type of environment. And this, when you see your price charts look like this S&P 500, this is kind of like, just, you know what, leave this crap alone. There's the top end of your range as a huge outside downside key reversal, very bearish. And this is the bottom of our range. It just gaps higher and leaves a hole on the charts here. Tries to put in another bearish reversal and gets smashed to the upside. Very difficult market state. Very, very difficult. It's kind of goes without saying. Of course, I always say it. Be very careful here with your money, people. Very dangerous market state. I mean, look at what happened to this. This is supposed to be one of the biggest software companies in the world, Oracle, and just out of nowhere, boosh, huge drop. What's that kind of numbers here? 128 bucks down to 111, or basically like a 17% or a $17 haircut, just like that. That's how dangerous this market state is. So be careful, everyone, please. Also, too, like I said, I mean, we don't have any real news driving this market. It's just kind of drifting here. I suppose we could leave off with Bitcoin, and per our sort of every single day, we want to look at that spreadsheet and sort of what is it telling us. Did I just get stopped? Something must have just happened. I heard a bleep. Bleep. What happened to Brian? Oh, no, still sitting in the trade. I wonder what the bleep was. Nothing's changed there. Should probably move this over. Yeah, I'm still in the money. I wonder what the hell that bleep was. You hate to hear bleeps just out of nowhere. That's always scares you. Maybe it was over here. Oh, yeah, it must have been this. Oh, somebody just PM'd me on Discord. All right. When you got an open position on in the market, any kind of bleep, it's like, what's that? What happened? What happened? What happened? So my apologies, get a little distracted. How can you tell I'm jumpy? At least I've got the order platform minimized right now, and actually all the trading buttons are locked. I have my profit, my take profit, and my stop loss order all locked in there, so I can't go and just fuck it up. Anyway, where was I? Back to our story. Oh yeah, we were going to look at Bitcoin. Now this is an interesting chart. I was fascinated because yesterday we even talked about this, that we could actually be buyers down here. And what's fascinating is look where the damn market pivoted off of. Look at that, folks. If that isn't a sales pitch, I even had this arrow on here, like we cannot move forward until this 4669 level is traded to. See that right there? You can even see it. I had it on the chart yesterday. And, we also had, you can even see, actually, I still have can short. Can short here, can short here. Kind of change that to can buy, Brian, knucklehead. And of course, ATR levels right down here. Horizontal support and resistance. So ironically enough, this is exactly the same as the gold trade, the crude oil trade, the S&P 500. It's the same setup. It's remarkable how consistent this is. So we come down, we slam into the megaphone lows, we slam into all the horizontal support and resistance. We hit that 4669, and I even told you guys on the weekend when I did the broiler chicken show, like I tweet these images out. The question is, what page is it on? Well, Do you see the Twitter thing up there? Used to be, anyway, we can just go like that and go like that. Actually, you know what? Why don't we just pull up the real chart? Don't need to do a Twitter thing. Oh my goodness, crude oil is just driving me crazy here today. Look at that. Where was I? Bitcoin, huge rally, eh? Wow, isn't that incredible? Here's that 4-hour chart. There we go. So no, that's not what I want to show you. I want to show you this chart. I had put out on Twitter, I had said we had 5 different reasons why the market needed to trade down into this level, right? I guess we never did hit this high to low trend line, but I think what happened here is we got down into Mr. Fink's I wanted ETF low, and that was 4669. We also hit this 1.618 that, you know, Fred on the site, he really likes that level, and literally just violently reversed off of that. So I get the impression that what they're doing is going after a liquidity squeeze right now. So probably the stops just above this high here, 26,417, are probably like a magnet right now. And it might even be like in the futures, right? This high right here. And kind of like these lows are a buying window. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, usually the megaphone has to be tagged 3 times for the actual trade. So 1, 2, we might even have another one where you have to go 3 up in here. I don't know. This is a tough one. I don't know whether we go 1, 2, 3. We have our stock pickers club meeting tonight with David O. And actually, this would be an interesting conversation one to have with him tonight. I don't know whether I would call that the third, or is that just the second tag of the megaphone? I'm not quite sure. But I definitely think that if you were hunting a short, and it doesn't surprise me that we're running into a bit of traffic here now, that up against this high here, that's probably where I would be hunting if I was like day trading the market. That's where I'd probably be hunting setups, and really all I would do. And it also too, it makes sense that we're bidding everything up in, you know, that's sort of like I guess a growth proxy into this big inflation event. And if anything, I wouldn't even be surprised if we do take this high out, that we actually have to go up and kiss this original market structure. And notice that's going to be up against this trend line. So don't be surprised if we have actually a further push up top here overnight into that number. And then unfortunately, this is going to be like a buy the rumor. And then what the hell happens on the other side? Does it become a sell the news? That's tough to say. So in this vacuum, remember, we didn't have any econs that came out yesterday. Didn't really hear anything really new fundamental wise. I mean, there's lots of FUD going on about Binance right now. Of course, Mr. Gensler, Mr. Popular. What I did notice is that CFTC is starting to go after the DeFi name. So we have both CFTC, that's the futures trading guys, and SEC, that's the stock market people. They're both sort of going after the crypto story right now. So it's an interesting time that we're living in with regard to that. So, you know, my hunch is we sit down tomorrow morning and we might, because keep in mind, we'll be doing that like literally 4 hours after the release of the CPI data. We might find that this whole picture looks completely different tomorrow morning. So just be aware of that. If anything, this is a really, really good example of no news, no fundamental drivers. The CME boys are going after the stops on both sides of the market, and it's extremely volatile. I suppose for the traders, and a really good reason why to incorporate things like chaos theory into your thinking, when we banged into this 4669, maybe you think about maybe just taking a little bit of profits if you were lucky enough to like sell like inside bars, or maybe even this M top here, and you were short and you were enjoying that ride. For algo people, it's just back and forth, back and forth. you don't really have an opinion trading the algo. You're just like, all right, should I be long? Should I be short? Should I be long? Should I be short? And I wouldn't be surprised if overnight we get another signal out of the algo. It seems to be business as usual these days. So slow and steady wins the race. Just remember that, folks. Other than that, I don't know whether there's a lot to report to you guys. As I had said, I actually I showed you guys this chart on the broiler chicken show. I had by December 35 call. This was supposed to be right. So I changed that and I reposted that to the room. But it's good to see crypto stocks are catching a bit of a bid. Things like coin, and that looks like actually it's kind of pointing up now. You got the moving averages turning back up. This is a weekly price chart. You can, my moving average system would have me thinking bullishly as of here, where the moving averages cross back bullish. In fact, we just did a short on YouTube about this moving average cross system, so you can see how that's just doing its thing, still pointing bullish. And of course, we had lots of crypto names that were looking like that as well. We've had some that have rolled over, so it's interesting how the individual crypto names are, but things like coin here are trying to base out. And if anything, I would consider pullbacks here into this September, October, November window. If you can get pullbacks into reload zones here on some sort of dump in crypto, and even maybe even into the new year, I think that's a buying opportunity. It feels as though, I mean, you just look at that chart. That chart to me screams head and shoulders. So, keep that in mind. And then, as I said on Sunday, we'll have another Stock Pickers Club meeting tonight. Same sort of logic here. Pullbacks, I think, into reload zones. I like them as buying opportunities. And this is a really interesting spread trade where it's going to cost you about 90 cents or so. And if this trade works out and everything, basically crypto has its rally into the fall of 25, and then this thing could spit out a better part of a 10x trade for you after you get the sell half on double trade going, and that should book about a 20-30% return on half of the whole trade, and then you get 10x on whatever you got left over, and the whole thing translates to like maybe a 7x on your money. It's a pretty good trade idea, I'll tell you that much. I like it. Okay, I think that's about it. 9:30, so that's about a half hour. Hopefully you got some value out of that. We're going to head on over and talk CTO talk with Sjord here shortly. So feel free to join us. I think actually a couple of people had actually asked if they could still register for the school program. And I think Julian said that he is letting a couple of people sneak in. So if you really want to join, you just reach out to us soon, because once sort of Grimm is off to the races and he's done his first week introduction lecture, it's very tough to get you in following that. So just your last warning. You wanted to participate in the school program this fall, you better get off your butt and do it now. So. All right, have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. Slow and steady wins the race. Looks like I didn't get stopped out or take profits or move my stop to scratch out crude. So wish me luck on my trade. Demonstrator of best practices. Live with the results. Slow and steady wins the race. The only thing left to say to you good people is bye for now.